What's up, guys? We want to talk today about the changing fitness industry and sort of premise this as fitness has changed. Have you changed with it? So we're going to share kind of three anecdotal elements that discuss this overall change in fitness.
So just kind of my experience watching kind of fitness change. When I was 14, I got my first gym membership to a Gold's Gym, and that was in 1999. No, something like that. Yeah, about let's say 1999, 1998, it's a long time ago. And went in there and got some instruction from someone that worked there, and basically they told me how to use the machines and stuff, and be careful around free weights because free weights can be dangerous and stuff like that. I know it's granted I was 14, so if I didn't know what I was doing, they could be very dangerous. Everything was pretty much just split routines, chest and buys, back and tries. Don't do legs. Definitely don't do hamstrings.
Wait, do you say that jokingly? Like, don't do hamstrings?
Well, I mean the leg. No, I mean, if you weren't competing in like a bodybuilding show, or if you weren't being trained by like a strength coach, the hamstrings were probably like the most neglected thing because you can't see them and they're on your stupid, useless legs too.
Yeah.
I say don't do legs because I mean there's basically like an upper body area and then a lower body area and then like a dumbbell area and all this stuff, and the lower body area was always nice and open. You know, leg press and the hack squat and leg extension and calf raises. Actually, calf raises are probably the most used leg machine. I'm getting kind of on a tangent, but basically everyone did bodybuilding split routines and hypertrophy movements to get big, and people got big and they got very, very strong. And then I think the functional, well actually then I think there's probably a transition to maybe higher intensity aerobic work. So before I started working out, I think jogging or yogging from Anchorman like made a big splash in like the 70s, 80s, something like that. People started going on random jogs, but there's no intensity involved, so it's just kind of basically like just spinning your wheels, basically. And so I think after the split routines, people maybe got onto a kick of let's do some cardio, and we gotta do our aerobic work, and we're gonna do cardio and heart rate based stuff, and we're gonna burn fat and do a lot of cardio. And at that point in time, I kind of made a different transition where I'm in like a strength and conditioning center at a university. Fresno State had a really legit program with some good sports. And then I kind of lost track of what was going on in the fitness world, and we did Olympic lifts, we did plyometrics, and we did good, just kind of basic strength stuff. That was just my track from there on. It's pretty crazy to look out, and I haven't been to a 24-hour fitness or a normal gym in a while, but from what I understand, they have cages now, they have platforms for Olympic lifting, they have all this stuff, so there's been this huge change to functional stuff, and really it's all been influenced by CrossFit. I mean, CrossFit kind of burst on the scene in the 2005, 2007 time. I mean, it started in 2001, but CrossFit influenced all this stuff like crazy, and people started getting involved in like functional stuff and maybe things that are more applicable to life, not just being super big and super strong. So kind of long story short, started off things when people started working out is really kind of split routine based and bodybuilder type stuff, and then I think there was a big change to aerobic work and cardio and really working aerobic work and trying to stay lean and stuff. And then I kind of fell off the map as far as commercial gyms, and I just got on the track of Olympic weightlifting and more explosive type movements. So not really sure what happened then.
Well, I think the point of laying the groundwork of that is, I hear, as I've been in this industry longer and longer, I hear sort of the same semblance of this statement. Oh yeah, I'm in pretty good shape, or I don't really need to get in like that good a shape, or I go to the gym, and it's just sort of like very casual, like yeah, I'm doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that like, oh, people are idiots and they're losers if they don't, dedicate themselves to the gym. But the flip side is that when the person who embodies that idea transitions into a program like ours, they are blown out of the water because they can't hang, they can't do the stuff that we're doing. And what that represents is basically the fitness industry has changed, and they have not. They have hung out with the sort of like, yeah, I lift some weights for a half hour and then I jog on the treadmill for a half hour, and that's just not that that is not cutting it, so to speak. And again, it's not to reinforce this idea of like, oh, people who don't do CrossFit are idiots. It's that you can get a lot done in an hour and be very productive, and in the same amount of time, maybe even less, get way further. So the whole point of saying this is you can do less time spent on work and get better results and get further than you could in the past, just because we know more, we have access to better tools, and we know what's good and what's not. We know that Taibo, for instance, is only going to get you this far.
Yeah.
You may get some initial results or whatever it is, but it's not going to. It doesn't have any long-standing strength or learning or anything like that. It was why nobody does Taibo anymore. So the thing that's really interesting is whenever people say things like that to me, I go, okay, I mean, that's fine. It's not, I'm not specifying a level of fitness that you want to have, but on the flip side, I need to tell you about the 30 and 40-year-olds in here who have 2 kids and a full-time job and very casually work out 3 or 4 hours a week, and that's it, and can do really good stuff. I mean, the average, so to speak, back squat for guys who have been with us 3 or 4 years is like 300 pounds, assuming that they're, like sort of your stock 5'8" or 9", 175 pound person, is very reasonable for them to squat 300 pounds, deadlift 375 pounds, not because they're freaks or they're special, they're athletes, but because what we do is so condensed and so productive. And the latter mindset I'm talking about of I'm kind of in shape, just can't even touch that. And so it's this disconnect between what can be achieved, what has been achieved, and how do you want to spend your time? Do you want to spend your time doing 5 hours and not get anywhere? Or do you want to spend your time 3 or 4 hours and get way further than you've ever gone? And that's sort of I think the trajectory that the fitness industry has been going, and especially what we see when people come in sort of deconditioned or not a part of our program, and what it looks like after they've been doing it for a year or two, for instance.
Yeah, things have changed dramatically. I mean, a good example would be we do workouts from previous regionals and previous CrossFit Games. I mean, one of my favorite workouts of all time is from 2008 CrossFit Games, 5 rounds of 5 deadlifts, 2 75s, 10 burpees. And like majority of the people in our gym at this point in time could win that event in 2008. And
Wait, what was the event again?
5 rounds of 5 deadlifts at 275 and 10 burpees.
Yeah.
And that's training very casually and not even trying to go out and compete and stuff like that. So, you just look back at kind of how fitness has evolved, but also, I mean, CrossFit's evolved like crazy since 2001, 2005, even 2010. We just did a regional workout this past week, and
that people were finishing.
Yep.
And there was, across the world, if you look at the scores, there were hundreds of did not finishes, DNFs, and we had people finish this workout within the allotted time. And we've done open workouts from the past where, there was some threshold that was like, ooh, this is the threshold that means that you're going to get somewhere. And every single person gets there, and you go, well, things have obviously evolved just a little bit. So I guess the ultimate message is if you are a part of a program like ours, that is outstanding, because you are basically spending the least amount of time to get the most amount of results. And if you're still going to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours and you don't have 15 pull-ups, you can't back squat double body weight or approaching double body weight, or I guess deadlift double body weight would be something more realistic. If you're not in that type of realm of being able to do those types of things, you might elect to spend your time differently because things have changed.
Mm-hmm. Things have changed.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah,